They say, our friends say, it's not the value of geography, it's geography of values that matters. And Turkey bases its bid to become an EU member on what every founding document of the EU has said from the beginning. All European states can become a member provided that they fulfill the conditions. So this is generally not that well known. EU membership is not a privilege, it's a right. So I think Turkey has to stick to this argument, and it does. You know, Orientalism wasn't a fantasy of Edward Said, so, you know, it's there. But we also don't resign to this, so we need to, we make arguments and, you know, sometimes shame. And I'll tell you one piece of activism that has emboldened me. In 2004, with some of our help, 9 senior European politicians came together. 3 Christian Democrats, 3 liberals, 3 socialists. They formed the Independent Commission on Turkey. You know, they read through everything that has been written, came to Turkey, studied Turkey, and came up with their report. Turkey, more than a promise or something. It's in the web. That's the most open-minded thinking about Turkey from Europe, and it's across the party lines, and it's 9 senior politicians. So it's possible. European Parliament, not necessarily a great friend of Turkey, but at each time it needed to choose between privileged partnership and full membership, it voted to keep the full membership perspective alive. So, you know, certainly you would know that none of the meaningful struggles in the world are easy. So, yes, there's still enough in there that merits working towards. It may not always be the case. There may come a day when we may decide that, you know, this was a pipe dream and that our energies are better used on some other track. But for the time being, it's still a viable enough strategy to stay invested in. Now, Turkomans in Kirkuk, they are there. In much fewer numbers than Turkish nationalists would like to tell us, because at one point, you know, the number was around 3 million, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And there are people who are legitimately concerned about their well-being in Turkey, and there are others who want to use them as pretext for some more maximalist, more adventurous track. There are Turks also in other parts of the world other than Iraq. For example, there are Turks in Cyprus and there are Turks in Bulgaria, and both of those options have meant very different strategies of sustaining their rights. You know, Turks in Bulgaria now are a part of a government coalition. Turkish is a recognized language in Bulgaria, and they enjoy a very comfortable bunch of rights. In Cyprus, there were also Turks. We chose a military option, I think the only option at the time. I think the 1974 decision was correct. What was incorrect was not to go for a final solution immediately afterwards and to sustain this problem until this year. So I hope we'll do the right thing in Iraq. And also, you know, Turkoman in Kirkuk are not the only people that we should feel solidarity with. There are Kurds and Arabs living in Turkey as well. So why shouldn't the Turkish foreign policy reflect the fact that some consideration and some sensitivity to the rights of Kurds and Arabs as well? I mean, I realize this is a more rhetorical question. When Turkish foreign policy reflects those concerns, we will probably be doing other things. But, you know, we can still set it out as a goal.
Thank you. I'd like to ask about the religious rights of the women in Turkey. Those women who ever wear headscarves, they are not allowed to universities or official buildings in Turkey. And is there any change? Do you see, would there be any change in the future?
It's a good question. They're allowed into the public buildings. They're not allowed into universities as students. They're certainly not allowed into public buildings as purveyors of public services, so they cannot be a judge or a teacher and wear the headscarf. In a more, civilized debate, we should be able to. The Social Democrats should have been able to say it's outrageous for women to be denied higher education because they wear the headscarf. I mean, you can debate whether it should be allowed in public schools. Yes, I'm sure you know, debate in France was that whether they should be allowed into high schools, but nobody in Europe is banning anyone with the headscarf to go to university, and we are banning them from attending university. And as among others, my wife reminds me, we don't discriminate against Islamist men going to university, but we discriminate against Islamist women going to university, and it shows a profound disbelief in the university education. If the university education is not going to instill a sense of critical thinking among the pious, then what will? The fact that we will stop them. So I'm certainly not in favor of a ban. And I try to make it publicly known that nobody should ban these people in my name. That's the principle side. But at the same time, if we want to get results, we need to understand that there is a sizable and very resourceful group of people in Turkey who consider this as an ultimate blasphemy. Now, we can treat them as paranoiacs or dumb, but it won't get us anywhere. I think we need to spend some time trying to understand what is it that scares them so profoundly, and whether there are any ways to address their fears. We have told to some of our more pious friends that there are a number of symbolic things that they can do to answer some of these fears, because one of the concerns is that it won't stop at university level, it will be everywhere soon. And people not wearing the headscarf would be a minority, and they will feel the results of this. Now, we should have intellectual and organizational wherewithal to make sure that going to the university is allowed with a headscarf, but others is not. And the Islamists can or should be able to declare this in a language that is irreversible. So they can't say this today and take it back the other day. And the onus is on the liberals in Turkey. I mean, the Islamists won't be able to do this. We are meaningful when we defend the rights of the people who are not like us. And so, if there is enough relaxation, if the sort of threat perception is eased, I think it is possible for Turkey, or for not headscarf wearing public, to advocate the rights of the people with the headscarf to go to the university, and in some semi-synchronous manner for the pious to make sure that if someone wearing the miniskirt in the campus in Heartland, and if they are harassed, they will be opposing that too. I think that compromise is possible. We worked through a mini version of this compromise on the compulsory course we have in basic education on religion. It's by the Constitution, we need to have this course, and the pious have used this course to propagate a certain version of Islam, which is actually unconstitutional. They shouldn't be able to do this in a secular republic. So after several rounds of these sort of consensus-building meetings, we were able to come out with a declaration that said that course should not be about Islam, it should be about religions and all religions, and it should be compulsory. But then people should be able to take weekend courses in the school campuses, not only on Islam, but on any religion or modern ethics. And a very wide spectrum of people signed this. So I am optimistic that such compromises are possible, but not automatic, I guess. Is
Probably go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.